Fuck around, make my 40 pop. No popcorn, I pop pistols, reaming my body.
Alright guys, Boruto episode 229 review. This right here was surprisingly good. I didn't really have that much expectations for an episode like this. I honestly thought that it would possibly be something very slight, something very easy for Kawaki, something that he didn't necessarily have to grind for a lot. But from the spoilers and from this episode right here, it looked like this mission is going to be a lot harder than we actually anticipated. Not only that, we actually got some good villains. This right here is absolutely insane. I mean, honestly, the whole entire OST behind Boruto, I think it actually built up the characters of the villains, made them seem a little bit more sinister than they should have been. Matter of fact, never mind, they were as sinister as they should have been, 100%, because their jutsus are absolutely unique, and of course their backstory is absolutely unique, and of course the first scene of the entire episode completely built up the characters. They absolutely demolished the first guy. Now obviously these kids don't necessarily look like they're the best in regards to shinobi wise, but it just builds to the overall aura of the villains, and Boruto hasn't necessarily been able to do things like that with specifically individual arcs like this. Obviously they build up the characters of the main villains, Deepa, of course the Kata organization, and other characters like Urashiki Yotsuki, but one-off villains like this almost never get the character build up at the beginning of the episode. And I'm super happy that the Boruto writers actually did put some time into actually build the characters of these actual villains. 100% made the episode that much better. It kind of built that actual anticipation because we understood these guys, these villains, they're not playing. Not only that, they also passed the regular Team 7. I was kind of surprised that Team 7 didn't necessarily try to make a move on the mainland, because Boruto did actually say that he smelt blood on them. That right there is an ability that I didn't even know that Boruto had in the first place. It was never really highlighted, the fact that Boruto has some sort of intense or heightened sense of smell, but now I guess we know. But in my personal opinion, the best thing about these villains is the fact that they have unique jutsus. Now of course we don't really know what the first one can actually do. With Jujumaru, he actually showed us some sort of ability where he actually has a blood web, where if you actually touch his blood, you then go into the control of Jujumaru. That right there was completely unique, and I absolutely applaud the Boruto writers for actually bringing us something different like this. And not only that, also having the actual, I wouldn't necessarily say Shikacho, because of course Inojin wasn't there, but of course having that team specifically with Kawaki go up against a character like that was definitely a very good sight. Now I definitely do want to know exactly what the first guy has in store for us, mainly because the first guy at the beginning of the episode, it seems like his jutsu is absolutely overpowered, and not only that, he's actually threatening his brother as well, which kind of makes me think that obviously this guy is going to be a lot stronger than the original guy. And of course that right there just adds to the overall danger to the mission when it comes to Kawaki being alone and Kawaki going on a solo dolo mission. I'll get into that a little bit later, but specifically when it comes to the villains, I'm definitely happy about it. Now the overall plot of the story is a very good plot as well. It's essentially a kid that wants to do something very good for his overall village, and of course something that'll help his overall village, but the feudal lord wants to keep them suppressed a little bit because of monetary gain. This right here is honestly a realistic situation. There are actually some countries out there that actually hurts their citizens for monetary gain. One of the things though that I would probably like over this is the villains actually having a vested interest of being the opposition, because as of right now all we really know is that they're actually being ordered by the feudal lords to actually go on a mission. Now obviously we understand that's essentially what Kawaki and Shikamaru is doing, but again there's kind of a difference between the kids' motivation and the Hidden Leaf Shinobi's motivation. I think it could have possibly been a little bit better if the villains legitimately had a vested interest in actually stopping the boy, but they don't. Again, that right there is completely nitpicking. Now when it comes to the action scene that we did actually get to see in this episode, again, did not expect it to be that good. I should have actually looked up the staff before this episode actually did come out, mainly because we actually did know that we were going to get to see some action, but again I didn't really think it was going to be that good. Now Shikadai showed up, Kawaki showed up, Chocho kind of sort of showed up. Everybody essentially did a good job, especially taking down Jujumaru. Now we can't really go through the whole thing without slandering a certain character, and of course it got to be Chocho. Chocho literally got injured by putting herself in the way of a kunai. Stupid. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I have to say respect to Chocho for actually honoring the mission, respect for Chocho for actually putting her body on the line, actually trying to protect the person that she's escorting. But let's keep it 100. Stupid. All she had to do was throw a kunai at that kunai and redirect the kunai, but instead she jumps in the way and gets completely destroyed. And it really wouldn't be that big of a deal to actually begin with, but now we're in a certain situation where Shikadai doesn't want to continue the mission because Chocho is actually done. But Kawaki himself, we understand how he gets down. Honestly, I feel like if Kawaki was out on a mission and somebody actually gets seriously injured with him, he may actually leave them to die. So of course Chocho getting injured and him not necessarily caring about that isn't 100% surprising to me, but of course Chocho had to be the one to actually stall the mission. I personally believe that a mission like this with these three characters, of course with the healthy Chocho, even though I slandered her just now, would be absolutely amazing. But now Kawaki is at a significant disadvantage, and of course, as I said earlier, the first guy seems like he's going to be a lot stronger than Jujumaru. I personally believe it's going to be a lot difficult for Kawaki. Now, in my personal opinion, just theory-wise, I think Kawaki's probably going to need some backup. I think Shikadai's probably going to go back to the Hidden Leaf Village, and they're probably going to send some backup. And I think I did see something like that in a preview where Konohama may actually pull up. I'll talk about that later when I do react to the actual preview a little bit later on today. Overall, this episode was definitely good. Hopefully, the next episode is going to be even better. Honestly, again, I didn't really expect much in regards to entertainment value from this one-off anime-only arc, especially coming off of the heels of chapter 65 in the Boruto manga. Specifically, it comes out, I believe, tomorrow. I thought we were all going to put our attentions to that, but it seems like the anime may actually try to drag our attention a little bit more to it. But let me know what you guys think about this episode in the comment section below, and let me know what you guys think. Do you guys think that Kawaki can actually finish this mission on his own, or do you guys think that he's probably going to need backup in the future? But it's me, your boy Barbie, and we out.
It's a knife.